Evil Dead Rise. Down on her luck, Beth, played by Lily Sullivan, pays a surprise visit to her sister Ellie and her young kids in her rundown New York City apartment. On the backdrop of an earthquake which exposes a secret underground area in the ground, the now extremely iconic Evil Dead book is found, along with all 78 vinyl recordings of passages from the book dating back to the 1920s, which unravels utter horror, mayhem, and chaos when placed in the wrong hands of careless, naive kids. Okay. So after watching this movie's trailer, I have to say I was extremely intrigued, but cautious also, as I hated the last Evil Dead movie from 2013, which is the only other Evil Dead movie that I've seen. But this Evil Dead movie just completely blew my mind, like, oh my fucking god. This is easily one of the best mind-blowing horror movies in recent years, made on a threadbare budget of $13 million and more or less set in the confines of a rundown New York City apartment. It is just a bewildering, mind-blowing horror movie, to be honest, and even if you haven't seen previous Evil Dead movies before, this movie basically spoon-feeds the viewers its origins. This movie has it all, completely flawed, hard-look characters that we can relate to when the shit or blood hits the fan, as the case may be. We are just totally invested in these characters. The blood and violence is just fantastic, getting the measurements just right without it being blood and violence for the sake of it, which I thought the last 2013 Evil Dead movie was guilty of. Every gory scene, every drop of blood spilt, or bucket of blood spilt as the case may be, is justified, and the claustrophobic confines of this rundown apartment just adds to the hell of the situation. This horror movie is just full on, never letting up or giving us the viewers a break from this hellish nightmare goings on. Elisa Sutherland as the possessed demonic mother is just beyond exceptional, where anything goes, relentless wreaking mayhem in this apartment. Lily Sullivan, who plays her sister Final Guard Beth, is equally as exceptional, with horrified disbelief expressions on her face when met with this hellish situation, to going into fight or survival mode. Seriously, she's just incredible, and I just think that it's a pity that her performance is upstaged and overshadowed by Lisa Sutherland, and that her performance is not given the credit that it truly deserves. The only fault that I would have with this movie, without going into spoilers, is I thought what happens in the elevator in the final scene was just completely OTT and unnecessary, to be honest. People are criticising the bookends of this book, something that happens that's totally unrelated to this movie's main story, which I thought was brilliant, as it potentially opens a can of worms to a sequel. As I said, this is one of the best mind-blowing horror movies to hit the big screen in recent years, and even with this movie taken out of its franchise context, it is just an exceptional, tension-filled, full-on must-see horror movie that's not for the faint-hearted. 8 out of 10.